Podcast.
I'm Mikey Dobbs.
And I'm Carmen Butler.
And this is
The ATL On Fire podcast show. So, do you want to go to the tactical board and talk a little bit about what you'd like to see?
Yes, we can.
Looks like Nick is in a conference call or something.
So let's actually start then by, can you call up the picture?
Sure.
I want to talk about two different things, and we can start with two photographs that I took during the AmFam Cup.
Let's see. Okay.
AmFam Cup.
Okay.
you
The
still-
first one is that picture, which is this
See how this goes?
literally a picture I took just before kickoff, right? So in this picture, it's a little bit hard to see, but what hopefully those of you on the YouTube channel can see is that we have the opening kickoff. We're in red and Toluca's in white. And what's interesting is that we have the standard, what you would expect. All three of our strikers are, either on the ball or up front. But what's interesting is that Lennon is standing at midfield as the right back. Okay?
Yeah.
So what that tells you is that obviously Lennon is clearly dedicated. Now, this was a setup play where they played it back and tried to play over the top. I don't get this because if you had to pick, Mikey Dobbs, between two players who you were going to try in the opening kickoff to send the ball over top, who could run real fast, beat a guy physically one-on-one, and gain possession, would you pick A, Brooks Lennon, or B, Araujo?
Raguzan. He should go charging up the right side.
That's
His
interesting.
beautiful bald head. But no, yeah, it definitely should be Araujo.
Right. So, and you might say, well, Araujo's going there too, but if Brooks Lennon goes running up with Araujo, he's just going to bring a defender over,
Yeah.
right? And it doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, what's interesting about this picture is that not only that's that, and that indicates that there's that's our focus, that Lennon is going to be very attacking, right? But if you look at the three backs in this picture, right, Gutman, Parata, and Cobb, because Robinson wasn't playing, but presumably it would be Robinson normally, what you can see is that they are set up in a normal center back two and a left back, right? So normally, if you're going to send your right back forward, you would have those three players shift. If they're not willing to do it even on a kickoff, right, when you have a play set and everybody on your team presumably knows that's going to happen, does that suggest you're going to do it in the game?
No.
I mean, it's a really weird
question.
thing to see, right? I mean, because Lennon is standing right on the half-field line. We're about to kick off going forward, right? And we have three backs in the back, as you would expect, right? Now, granted, and this is my counter to this, is that we did not see a lot of Gutman and Lennon both being forward, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
But during the game,
Actually, a little less dual airplanes, at least one airplane at a time.
one airplane at a time. I agree. There should be, what we need is an air traffic controller who controls which airplane is going and which airplane is staying, right? But in any case, that's a good thing, right? I think that suggests that we might be more inclined to leaving three in the back. But the interesting thing is when we had three in the back, which was more often, most teams would have them shift over to a three where one center, one right, one left. And we never really looked like that. We just looked like we were like, well, Lennon's still responsible for that.
Yeah.
Right? Why? Anyway, okay, so that's one thing. And then let's go to the second picture because it shows you, and I'll show it to you on the tactical board too, so even if you can't see it on this picture. So I took this picture during play sometime, 10 or 15 minutes into the first half. This was all of our starters, right? So Toluca has the ball, right? And they have the ball basically somewhere around middle of the field, and they're on their left side, okay? So as we talked about all of last year, right?
Yeah.
If you look at our back four, they are so pinched over, right? So particularly the position of Gutman, right? So they only have one guy. They have two guys forward. They have a left forward and they have a center forward, okay? right? So the left forward is being marked by Lennon. You know, Lennon's pretty close to him. That's fine. They have one guy in the center. So we have Cobb and Parata right next to him. I think in this case it's Parata who's open and Cobb is standing right next to him. And Gutman has come all the way in. Now you might say that's a decent position when there's nobody there, but if you notice, what has Toluca done with their right back? Can you see that?
He's out wide.
Yes, he's almost standing with his heels on the touchline, right? And he is literally the only player almost in the entire half of that field. If you draw a line straight from goal to goal, he's the only player on the right side of the field.
Yeah.
Right? And one of the things that I saw over and over and over from both Lennon and Gutman is they are committed to pinching in as far as possible to help out the center backs. And the guy responsible for marking that is Caleb Wiley. So if you notice, the closest guy to him is actually Caleb Wiley. And Caleb Wiley is standing in a weird stance because he's looking over there.
Yeah.
He's not actually marking him, but he clearly was assigned to mark him. He was looking over that, right? So we're playing a front three, Mikey Dubs, okay? So if you're playing a front three, right, particularly what you want from a front three is that you got to have outside guys who are fast enough and forward enough to get in behind people. Now, we have that. God bless, thank God, right? We have Araujo. We have Etienne, who presumably can do that.
And Wiley.
And we have Caleb Wiley, who can do that, right? So that's awesome, right? But if we're asking our right and left forward to mark in behind our right and left back, let's go to the tactical board because this is what happens.
Tactical board. Let me get there.
I probably have to.
All right. Let's see.
Tactical board.
I feel like we need like some sort of like, button to press to.
So we
get
apologize that somehow we lost the names of all of our lane 9 players, so they're just numbers now and they're not their real numbers. So, but in this case, where Atlanta United is in red and we're playing a team in yellow, we'll call them Toluca, right? So what we saw, I have set this up to be, although it's flipped from where the picture is, but very similar to the formation that I took the picture of. So our two center backs, Parata and Cobb, are right there marking their forward. Our right back is Lennon, who's marking their left forward. Our right back is all the way over here, number 4. That's Lennon, right? Our two center backs are 2 and 3. That's Cobb and Parata. And I have Gutman all the way where he is in that picture. I think he was a little closer to here. But in any case, the Toluca right back has gone all the way forward. And it's actually Caleb Wiley in here who's responsible for marking him there. Okay? So right now, the ball is where it is in the picture. If they either play back or he switches it directly, but in any case, if they play this long ball out here, it is technically, it looks like it's not the job of Gutman to go there. It's actually the job of Wiley to come back here.
Yeah.
Okay? So the problem I have with this is, so let's say Wiley does an amazing job and he wins the ball, right? Who is Wiley supposed to be outletting to?
Tell me.
Wiley.
Wiley to Wiley. So
We've said this now twice, right?
So who's that to?
Yeah,
now?
because Wiley he's our left forward in a front three, right? So he's supposed to be forward enough, and I would like him to be right over here, so he's really easily available, but he could be up here, whatever. But he's supposed to be here playing the ball and here receiving the ball, right? So that doesn't work. Right, so if he has to track back all the way to here, right, what is the point of playing as a front three?
Yeah.
Where did our front three go? Because now the only possibility is for him to dribble 50 yards or to try and play in the middle to Josetu or...
So what's your solution here?
Well, my solution is that Wiley as a front three should not be marking anybody up there, right? So all we have to do is Gutman be responsible instead of holding the hand.
Yeah.
Instead of holding.
We're ready for Nick, yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. I'll take a beer. Absolutely.
Always. Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you. I'm good.
Yeah, 2 beers. We're at a brewery.
I mean, this
Thanks,
is
Billy.
awesome. I like this
Yeah.
recording at a
People
brewery
getting us
thing.
beers. Yeah, this is
Billy
great.
was one of our early guests
Yeah,
on the
big
podcast.
supporter, yeah.
Who's grabbing us a beer.
All right.
Thankfully, somebody's taking care of us.
So, if our center backs are in normal position, then we really don't need three players marking their front forward, right? So that way, Gutman can be more out here, right? So when they play all the way across, it's Gutman here,
Yeah.
right? So then when Gutman wins the ball, right, now who's open?
I can't see it.
That's Wiley out on
This
the
is
wide.
the problem with our setup. I can't see anything
I'm
either.
sorry. But anyway, Wiley I left forward, right? And he is super available. And if he's done a good job, which I would like him to do, and not be all the way up here, if he's dropped back a little bit, now he gets the ball and gets to get on the front foot and run at their back four, which is what we want.
Yeah. Wiley running at people, especially late in the game, is what we want.
Amen.
So the thing that drove me crazy tactically in this game is we were so far pinched in that our forwards were responsible for tracking their backs who were overlapping all the way into our defense. And that meant that when we won the ball, there was no forward to play to outlet to, right? In what system do you want Araujo and Wiley tracking in instead of Gutman?